Welcome to the Garden Gamble, where we're planting hope, taking chances, and growing memories for every season. I'm Ricki Clausen, owner of Clausen's Greenhouse in northern Minnesota. This podcast is for anyone who's ever stood in the garden, greenhouse, or backyard wondering if they're doing it right. Here we talk real-life gardening, the wins, the mistakes, and everything we learn along the way. Whether you're new to plants or have dirt permanently under your nails, you're in the right place. Let's take the gamble and grow together. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. This is the Garden Gamble podcast. I am Ricki, your host, and I am so glad that you were able to join us for this week's podcast. If you are new here, thank you so much for joining us, and we really hope that you enjoy our podcast and continue listening. So welcome. If you have been listening for a while, welcome back. Thank you so much for listening to the Garden Gamble. This week, I really wanted to talk about the Master Gardener's Garden Tour that we got to go on. Kate and I were able to do the garden tour in Pennington County with the Pennington County Master Gardeners, and we got to tour some beautiful gardens in our area, and there were a few things that just kind of stood out to me as we were doing the tours. So I'm really glad that we were able to visit those gardens. We weren't sure if we were going to be able to make it to the garden tour. This is actually the first time we've gotten to do the tour, so I was really looking forward to it. Both of us had busy schedules during the day, so we kind of got to join in right at the end of the evening. So I'm glad that we were able to tour a couple of the gardens. We weren't able to make it to them all because it did kind of come in a little bit later than we would have liked, but I mean, that's life. We get busy. Cade was landscaping. I was at an event with our cut flowers. So I'm just glad that we were able to see the gardens that we did. And there were three things that I really learned and things that stood out to me from the Master Gardener's Garden Tour that we got to attend. So that is our topic this week on the Garden Gamble podcast here. And all of these gardeners have definitely taken the gamble over the years. You can see the hard work that they have put into these gardens, and it shows. And the gamble has paid off for them. Let's just say that. But I bet if we were able to sit down with each one of them, they can tell you some of their great successes that we got to see on these tours. But I bet you, just like the rest of us, there are a few failures I'm sure that they've learned from, just like all of us as well. And that's part of it. But we love it. And it was really, truly a wonderful evening to be out and about in the community, getting to enjoy the gardens. So the first thing that really stood out to me at the few that we were able to visit is that gardens just take time. Gardening is often a long game, and creating a stunning garden doesn't just happen overnight. And the other thing too is it's okay to start small. We're getting to kind of hear the history behind some of these places. You know that this has been a labor of love for quite some time. These were some really beautiful and grand gardens, but you know that they didn't start just this season. They put in the work and the time over the long game, over the last few years, and just kind of getting to hear a little bit about their stories and how they got to this point. It's really inspiring, but it's also a wonderful reminder that it does take time for perennials to get established and to reach their full potential, and figuring out what works in your garden and what doesn't. One thing that I noticed too is a lot of these perennial gardens, they were really great about filling in the gaps with some really fun annuals. And there's a couple reasons to do this. One, just for fun. It just adds some different color and different things. From year to year, you can kind of switch it up if you like, where perennials, of course, are blooming the same again and again, which is like wonderful. But yes, it is kind of fun to throw a few annuals in there just to kind of switch up the look from year to year. But the other reason too is it's a great filler in between many of the perennials that they have growing out in their gardens, because when you first plant a perennial, it's typically pretty small. So when you can fill in that year with a few annuals around it, it kind of fills that space in the garden until those perennials can reach their full potential. The other thing that I noticed about a lot of these gardens too is how well that they kind of staggered bloom times with the plants and perennials that they chose. So it's kind of fun to see which ones were in bloom. Right now during this season, we are early August. But yeah, it was really fun to just see which perennials are blooming right now. You can see which ones are done now for this season, and you can see a few fall bloomers that are just starting to kind of show some color, or you can see those buds just starting to pop up. So it was kind of fun just to hear like their thought process behind some of the plants that they put, the different varieties, because a lot of these gardeners are plant people. Plant people go all over the place to find plants. So I know that they come out, a lot of them come to our place here at Clausen's Greenhouse, but I also know that they're going many other places into other greenhouses in the area. So it's kind of fun just to see what plants that they've gotten throughout the years. Maybe they even got a few before we even started here at our greenhouse. So it's just kind of fun to see all the different varieties that I've maybe not seen before. And yeah, watching them kind of play around with different plants, different textures, varying heights and colors. It was just really fun to see the creativity behind all of these gardens. And that kind of leads me into the second thing that I noticed from going to a few of these places was number two. The thing that I learned was that not all gardens are going to look the same, and they're not always going to serve the same purpose. And I think that the uniqueness of each garden is what makes each one special. Where one of the gardens that we went to was very perennial heavy. They had all sorts of different perennials throughout the yard and in the landscape. And another one was filled with many annuals that they really enjoy doing pots and different fun things. And the one was very cottage garden style, and the other one had lots of fun like yard signs and flamingos and just really unique things. And so each of those two were very different, but very beautiful and stunning in their own unique ways. And I think that that is what makes those yards and those gardens so special. On this tour, the ones that we got to go see anyway, were very flower heavy. But as we know too, there are many people that have massive gardens that are absolutely stunning that don't have a single flower in them at all. They're very full of like vegetables and herbs and that other side of gardening that we love so much too. But it was kind of fun to see each of the places we went to, even though they're very like flower heavy, they all have like their own little side thing of peppers and peas and their garden vegetables too. So that was kind of fun to see too. But yes, not all gardens are going to look the same. They're not all going to serve the same purpose, but they're all special and unique and wonderful in their own way. Number three, the third thing that I learned from the Master Gardeners tour that we went on this week was gardening brings people together. And I think that is one of the main things that I love about gardening, especially now, like being a greenhouse owner and getting to know so many of these people. Gardening really does bring people together. It's our common ground. We all share this love of gardening. So we got to see so many familiar faces when we were out and about. We got to see some neighbors, some friends. We got to see another greenhouse owner and many of our customers that frequent our greenhouse here. And it was just really fun getting to see them all interact together and coming together for our shared love of gardening. And I think that is just so special and something that I really truly love about the industry that we are in as greenhouse owners and as gardeners. And it's just really fun to get to listen to different stories and hear people kind of talking amongst themselves about getting ideas for next year that they want to use in their gardens. And even for me, it's just really fun to see what they do with the plants that they get from the greenhouse and different combinations for pots that I might not have thought of before that I can use in a few of the decorative pots that I do for the greenhouse here. And it is just so cool to see everyone coming together for that. So it really was a wonderful evening. We got so lucky with the weather that we had. It was gorgeous out, and I'm really thankful that we were able to visit a few of the gardens on the Master Gardener's Garden Tour. And I really hope that we can go again next year and kind of see other gardens in the area. It's kind of just a really fun night to be out and about and getting to enjoy our love for gardening. So those were just a few of the things that stood out to me when we were on the tour, and we will post about it again next year when the Master Gardeners share it. I will definitely add it to our social media accounts. So if you are a garden lover, which I'm sure you are if you're listening to the Garden Gamble podcast here, hopefully you can make it out to the Pennington County Master Gardeners Tour next season. So thank you so much to the Master Gardeners as well for putting this wonderful event on. It's been really fun to get to know them over the past few years. We've gotten to know them fairly well and a few of the members, and they truly are a wonderful group, and we are very lucky to have them in our area. So thank you for putting on this wonderful event. Thank you to the homeowners who opened up their yards and their beautiful spaces for us to come out and enjoy. So thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of the Garden Gamble podcast, and we will see you next week. Take care. Thanks for joining me on the Garden Gamble. If you loved this episode, be sure to subscribe and share it with a fellow plant lover. Gardening isn't a gamble when you have the right guidance, and you don't have to figure it out alone. Until next time, take care.